Hello and welcome to the Perth Gaming Crew, episode 17. We are back and it is games galore, Pat, at the moment. We are covering Summer Games Fest today. We had the PlayStation Showcase the other day and Tears of the Kingdom, of course, but there's just so much going on right now of the Xbox Showcase coming up. Yeah, I think it's like Sunday night or Monday morning. We'll cover that in the next podcast. Pat, there's just too many games. What is going on?
Yeah, wow. I don't think we can cover every game that was released in Summer Games because that was stacked. That was a
Yeah,
stacked showcase.
stacked to the hill.
My goodness, yeah. And there were heaps in there that was just a lot of games that
Yeah,
just made me go, oh
yeah,
yeah, like this
yeah,
is it. So it was a really good showcase for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah,
Um, to be fair, though, it's not just a singular one, isn't it? It's like a mix of it's like a lot of developers putting their hat in the ring in there because it's all cross-platform and everything. Or
yeah.
at least
That's it.
caters to all the pretty much to all video gamers, not just specific console ones like Sony or Xbox or whatever. So it was really nice to see all of that. Very
Nice.
excited for a lot of them.
Yeah, cool, sweet. And on top of that, there's like individual ones like Ubisoft and Capcom coming.
Yeah.
But we are going to dive right in because we saw some amazing games that we are
Oh
super
yeah.
psyched about. We are
Please
starting with
go.
the big one. So, Mortal Kombat 1, I bullied Pat into saying we're covering this first. People are first and be all like, sorry, mate, we're gonna spend a solid 20 minutes on this. No, we're not. But it is so exciting. So, just so everyone knows, I mean, I'm still on my first episode. Mortal Kombat, the original, is my favorite game of all time. There was a CGI trailer released about a week or two ago, and then the gameplay release trailer through as part of Summer Game Fest, which we've got screening now. Holy shit, Pat! It looks good.
It looks great.
It looks so good. So what they're doing is they're rebooting the entire universe from what we can see. Liu Kang is now Raiden. Kung
What?
Lao, yeah. So Raiden. So for those of you who look, Mortal Kombat 11's been out for ages. The ending, I'm not spoiling anything. Liu Kang basically beat Kronika, like the Keeper of Time, and he became the new god.
Oh,
He fused with Raiden as you do. I mean, look, the Mortal Kombat stories don't really make sense. They just like they they write them around the characters they want to put in each game.
no, that's
Um,
cool. I didn't know that. So this is actually super cool to hear
ah,
about.
so that's
Yeah.
interesting. So it's like for long term fans, there's a kind of a continuum, and it's like the reboot is based on what happened at the end of Mortal Kombat 11. But at the same time, new players can come in and go, okay, Liu Kang is the normal god factor kind of person who's running the show. So Liu Kang's the new god. Scorpion and Sub Zero are brothers, and they're Liu Kang's little buddies who are help recruiting other fighters to
Oh
fight the big
wow.
bad. So it's all flipped around. Melina's the princess, Katana's like the side person. There's a lot of bait and switch stuff going on. Yeah, this is really exciting for like long term fans. This is like a reboot after 11 games and it being rebooted back in I think
Oh,
2011 originally. How does it look?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then it just like in this showcase, I'm excited because I love that it's a reboot, but I love that it actually looks next gen now. Like the Mortal Kombat
Mm.
X, Mortal Kombat 11 look great, but this is looking next gen, particularly with the background graphics. Like, ooh, the scenes are looking really nice. Yeah, so I am super excited. This is a day one purchase for me. I just wish there was like a Mortal Kombat console edition, as in like branded on a controller or something. I want to buy it. You can buy a Liu Kang statue overseas. They're not doing it in Australia as part of like the extra special edition. And if you pre-order, you can get Shang Tsung. So I think the way they're taking this is, it's the original Mortal Kombat 1 story. Um, they've got a lot of the original characters like Kano. Nothing's changed in terms of the violence. Yeah, I don't know, Pat, what do you think from what you've seen now? Do you like it?
Yeah, oh, it looks amazing. Look, I'm not going to pretend like I was a massive fan of Mortal Kombat. I only
I've
ever
got you
played,
covered.
yeah, I only ever played it when I'll go over like friend's house and they would play it. So, but I don't think I've ever owned a recent copy of Mortal Kombat. So I would just play it. I would play it with friends for fun.
Yeah.
But this looks incredible. Like the moves look so fluid.
Yeah.
One of the qualms I've always sort of had about Mortal Kombat, in my opinion, again,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to offend you, John. I don't know how big of
No,
a fan you are,
that's
but
all right. We're still friends.
sometimes I feel like the controls are a bit sticky. Maybe
Interesting.
maybe I'm just like maybe I'm used to, Street Fighter or like Tekken or something like that where it feels a little bit more fluid, but I've
Yep.
always thought that oh my
Like a bit
god,
sluggish.
Jesus Christ, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Holy
not for
shit.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not much left of someone after.
God damn. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've always just felt. But like looking at this, it looks like everything is flowing. It looks like you can chuck in combos in there quite easily. It looks fantastic. Like the gameplay wise, it looks amazing. I
Mm.
I really like the fact that it also looks like there's like a proper fleshed out story now, and it's not just like, oh, you have to defend the world from Big Bad.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it looks like there's also characterization as well. So,
Mm.
do you know if they like put in elements of the most recent like Mortal Kombat movie in here? Is that what they?
No, not quite. Like so they did when they rebooted the series back in 2011. They did like the three original trilogy games into a 3D. They brought that to 3D and they
Mm,
kind of made it story based, right? And then they continued from there with Mortal Kombat X 10 and then Mortal Kombat 11, which came out
hmm
4 years ago. With the recent movie, it includes most of the characters and a new character called Cole
hmm
Young, who has a bit of controversy around there. But no, that is separate to this
Oof,
universe. Like it uses a lot of the same characters and the overarching
yeah.
story with Shang Tsung in the tournament. But no, so that's interesting to hear that, Pat, because like, yeah, as a new person or someone, so you haven't seen the previous two games much.
No, not a lot.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Oh, this is kind of weird. Like seeing this is probably like really strange, or like, yeah, just because like the previous games did have a bit of a storytelling element, but they didn't look this good.
Mm.
Um, yeah, no, not by far this good. So
Oh,
yeah, there's something for everyone. Like
it's
it looks
amazing.
visually, it looks really next gen. Like
Yeah.
I just love that it looks really next gen. So excited for this game. Can't.
I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for the Liu Kang bit to loop again because that looked incredible. Like
Yeah,
with the fire, with the
yeah.
who's this guy
Oh,
with the samurai?
that's Kenshi. So he's from one of the older games, and they brought him back from Mortal Kombat 10. He's like a
Mm.
blind samurai. He's got like a ghost samurai
Oh,
spirit that helps him
badass. Yeah,
fight. This looks like Johnny Cage's Penthouse.
yeah.
Johnny, true to
Classic,
form.
classic Johnny Cage right there.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so cool. Like for those like for people who know the old Mortal Kombat story, it's a complete bait and switch.
Yeah.
All of these characters are the same characters, but
Oh,
they're coming at it new. Like Liu Kang is not,
yeah.
that
Look at this.
warrior who gets recruited. It looks freaking good. Yeah, and Scorpion and Sub Zero being brothers, I love it. I take your point about being sticky, and
Mm.
that's really interesting because I think there's a couple of different kind of like schools of thought with Mortal Kombat or fighting games. Because I struggle with Street Fighter and Tekken. I couldn't get into those because their fighting systems are not ones
Mm.
I'm used to. Whereas Mortal Kombat, particularly the new ones with the combos, are what work with me. Big crunchy attacks that are based on martial arts. So
Mm.
it's great. There's a franchise out there for everyone, but man, god damn! Like for someone who's into Mortal Kombat, I'm
Yeah.
buying this day
This
one.
is hype.
This is my game of the year already. I know what I'm getting. Dude, it's cold. It's done. Sorry,
This
people
is
of Perth. Even if I'm a
this is
Philly
hype.
fan.
Who was that lightning guy just now? That wasn't
That was
Raiden.
Raiden, but he's redone. He's just like a regular monk dude now, and he's getting recruited by the
Oh,
like Kung Lao, and it's all a bit flipped. So
right.
yeah, they've got the original characters, but it's all a
Yeah,
whole new universe.
yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
But I
it's kind of
mean, Liu Kang with the fire and was it the lightning? It was the
yeah,
fire and lightning
yeah.
because
He's got like he's a fire god, but it's like blue and red.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
looked friggin' good, man. What the hell?
yeah. It
Yeah.
looks nice. It
You know
looks
what?
nice.
I may have to cop this because it as for like as would you say it's a if I haven't played since the reboot, so like Mortal Kombat X, like 10, 11.
Yeah.
Do you think this would be a good series for me to introduce myself on?
Oh,
Like
hell yeah.
if I want to get into it, like I don't need to play the previous games or watch any media or anything like that to
No,
get me
no.
caught up to the story or anything.
No, you can start fresh here, and I think that's probably the appeal of this game because, like, they're deliberately calling it Mortal Kombat 1 for this reason, even though it's meant to be
Oh,
12.
yeah, fair
Like,
enough.
it's not
Okay.
even called Mortal Kombat; it's like Mortal Kombat 1. So you
Yeah,
can start here, see it with fresh eyes, and
yeah,
then yeah, the weird thing is for long-term fans like me, I'm like, oh, it's all
yeah,
flipped. It's like M Bison's the good guy, Ryu's the bad guy, and you're
yeah.
like, oh,
Right. Okay.
I've got to rethink how I see this. So I mean. I'm not like a competitive fighting game person, but
Mm.
I love them. But I also like the story. So if you're interested in the story and you have it on a mode that suits your level of challenge and fun, yeah, you might be interested.
I
Yeah,
like
so
how it says
that's
likely mature.
yeah.
Likely mature, as you see people getting ripped apart with friggin' lightning, like their
Yeah,
hearts getting like grabbed out of
yeah,
their chest.
yeah,
Likely
exactly.
mature, likely mature.
I do
Maybe
feel
inappropriate for children.
Yeah, I know. I do think, like, I think about a previous episode where we covered Tears of the Kingdom, and I think if there's anyone who's 6 years old and jumped on board as a subscriber and just gone, oh, I'll see what the boys are up to next round. Sorry, sorry, maybe
To see
check
a
with your
guy like,
parents. Yeah, this is not appropriate for children.
yeah,
Don't buy or watch Mortal Kombat. So that was one of the big ones. And
that was great. Honestly,
oh,
like I said, I was not a fan. Okay, like I played for fun before, but I might get this one because it looks. And like you said, if I'm for a new fan or a new interested fan trying to get
yeah.
into the series, it'd be good to jump on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No, it's something for everyone. Yeah,
Here we
interesting.
go.
So
Here
this is
we
the one you're
go.
excited for. So
This is holy
what
moly. This one
what
looks
are we looking at here, Pat?
incredible.
Yeah, this
I
one looks this is next gen as hell too, hey.
This looks incredible. Like this just I don't even know how to start because like I played the old Final Fantasy. That was like my first game I ever played on the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think anyway. One of the first
Yeah,
RPGs for
yeah,
sure of
let's
this kind. Yeah.
yeah, one of the
So
first that would have been
seeing and I that was an absolutely like just mind-blowing experience for me. So there were a lot
mm,
of firsts playing Final Fantasy 7 for me. All four discs, literally probably one of the few games I can safely say I've played to completion, as in like I didn't dick around halfway through and just be like, yeah, I'll
mm.
finish that later. It was like
And
I
then you never
sat
do
down.
because it's so big and you're like, oh, it's too
Exactly.
hard to come back to.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. This is
yeah.
like I sat down and every day after school I would play and I would play and I played it to completion without dipping into any other game or anything like that. So to see it get remade in like next gen like this,
Mm.
geez, it's just I
Is that
was
like dream
hyped.
come true kind of stuff? Mm,
Almost, yeah, because I was hyped
mm,
when they announced the remake, the first one, and just like
mm,
seeing it come alive like this. Like this is the second in the trilogy that they're
mm.
planning. Like I don't know if
Mm.
any of this is gameplay or if it's like cutscenes, but god damn, it looks
I
good.
reckon there's a lot of gameplay in there. Like they did show some gameplay in the
Oh,
trailer
here,
here,
right now,
and
yeah, right here.
yeah, yeah, and it jumps in and out. It looks freaking good. It's PS5 exclusive,
Shh.
man. It looks next gen. I'm. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat was my jam. Final Fantasy is your jam. Like
Yeah,
even though I've not followed the games, I'm looking at this and going, "Oh, just as a game on its own, this looks. Look at that. It looks
yeah.
really good.
It's
So
ticking
appealing.
ticking all my boxes. It's like
Oh,
open
I'm
world.
excited.
Yeah,
Oh.
open world. It looks immersive. Like I've spoken about Wanderlust before when playing these types of games. This looks like it will absolutely satisfy that because look at all like I've seen like maybe three different biomes since this trailer started. There's
Yeah,
like the grassy fields, mountainous. Like it just man, it just looks incredible. Like
yeah,
for a Final Fantasy VII fan specifically, this is the pinnacle of our existence right here.
yeah.
Oh well,
No, I hear you.
yeah.
Look at that. Like, I
This is
totally get that.
This is the
Yeah.
pinnacle. This is the pinnacle. We've reached the zenith of
Yeah.
like Final Fantasy VII. Like I don't know how much. I mean, look, the third game is going to be good. And I've said before, I'm waiting until all three release because I have a complex of freaking like I have a complex of like I don't want to play it and then be left
Mm.
hanging because
Yeah.
that would just piss me off. Like I don't want to play it and then have to wait. Have to wait. How long was it since Remake came out? Like Rebirth is coming out in 2024. That was like 3 years or something. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
2 or 3 years waiting for the next game. Like, goddamn, I don't know if
Yeah.
I can.
That's hard.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that, dude. Like, so I'm gonna wait. It's probably gonna be like 2027 by the time, unless they're working literally back to back to back. Maybe they'll get it out by 2026. But
Maybe. Yeah. True.
I think 2027 would be when the final piece comes out, and if they release like a super special friggin' ultimate box containing
Oh.
all trilogy.
They will, and it'll be on like
Yes, they will.
PS6 by then, and it'll be a special edition. And you're like,
Yeah,
done.
it'll
Console
come.
war's over.
Yeah, it'll come with like Cloud life-size statue made out of like just gemstones. It's gonna cost like $2,000, and I'm gonna be like, "Yep, done,
So good,
sold,
so worth it, so worth it." Then you can like finish your
yeah,
you can finish your gaming career after that. You're like, you know what, I'm done. This is the pinnacle of gaming. This is the pinnacle of my life. I'm done. This is all I need for the rest of my life.
I may have kids by then too. You may have 4 by then, John. But
yeah, no, I'm gonna stop having kids, man, and just play this. It's all G,
Yeah, I have kids by then. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what about food for this week, Dad?" I'm gonna be like, "Nah, don't worry." Don't worry about
Chocobos are calling. The Chocobos are calling. You'll be fine.
Don't worry about food this week. I just dropped $2,000 on the super special PS6 and Final Fantasy VII Special Edition. We can live without food for a week. It's fine. We got water.
$600 PS7 remake will sustain you in your life going forward.
Like, Mum, will we ever see Dad again? It's like, probably not.
Highly likely no.
Yeah, probably not. He's just going to be locked in his room playing. Oh, geez. I don't know, man. Fans of if you've seen this enough, I have spoken very highly of Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite series. And like I've already said, this is the top. This is Everest for me. This is the peak of Everest. It looks great. It looks great. Even people who are not fans of the series before, you can just start playing the remake, and
don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I gotta play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on it, John? You think it's good? Do you think it looks great?
I like the look of it. I don't have that Final Fantasy background, but just as a gamer, it's like this is like another draw card for the PS5 and the PS ecosystem. A massive exclusive. It just looks good. Final Fantasy games are quality. Kind of interesting they didn't include this in the Sony showcase. I'm not sure why. Maybe they didn't want to cluster it with Final Fantasy 16 that's coming out. They probably want to put spotlight on that. Yeah.
I reckon putting eggs in different baskets, I think. Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. So looks good to me, man. I'm excited for you. You're excited for me. I feel like we've already had a good time today, and this summer game.
That's all.
2 games, and Summer Game Fest has already delivered for us. So look, they're the massive ones for us. There were a couple of smaller games, but we did want to highlight them just because we know there's a big fan base out there. Sonic. This is kind of cool. I've played a couple of Sonic games. I know there's a Sonic Mania that came out a few years back, which is like a remake of the retro ones, like whole new one retro package. And then they've done a package of the old ones about a year or 2 ago. So there's a 2D Sonic kind of fan base out there. It's not my favorite franchise, but I think what they're doing with the colors, the aesthetics is bang on in terms of modernizing that 2D Sonic experience. What did you think about the art style and just the look of it in terms of like Sonic games? Do you think this is like appealing?
I really, really like it actually. So I grew up playing the old Sonic games on the Sega Genesis.
Cool.
when I say play them, I was never very good because it was just too frantic for me. So I would
It's
watch.
me too. It's
Yeah,
so fast. It's just like, how do you
yeah.
play that? Yeah,
It
I'm
was
with you,
too
bro.
frantic. It was too frantic. So I would watch my older cousin play it, and I remember just having a good time doing that because yeah, it just looked great. So I really like the fact that this is co-op, and it looks like you can have up to 4-player co-op, which I didn't realize. I thought it was because in
Mm.
the old Sonic 3 in the Genesis, you can have two kind of. You can have two players, like one person controls Tails and the other person controls Sonic.
Cool.
Um, I think you may have been able to control Knuckles as well, but I know it was 2-player. So yeah, I thought it was going to be 2-player like this again, but the fact that it looks like you're going to have up to 4 people, this is going to be chaotic as
Mm.
hell. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
true. I'm getting motion sickness just looking, and it's like, oh, it looks really cool, but then it's like,
yeah,
so
yeah, it's going
so
to be chaotic.
fast.
But I love what they've done with the aesthetic.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love how colorful everything looks. I am such a huge fan of anything that looks colorful and like vibrant because I feel like it makes me want to play it.
yeah.
Because yeah, like if something looks vibrant, I'm like, oh, that looks alive. Like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna
Mm.
play that. I'm gonna play that. Like it looks like the world is alive. The environment looks fantastic. It
Mm.
looks like they're delivering on all the classic like Sonic tropes, like
Mm.
and is it 2.5D, John? Do you know, or
I,
just
I
2D?
It kind of looks 2.5, but I don't think the camera. We haven't seen the camera tilt. I would
Mm.
say it's almost. So I'd say it is 2.5D, and for those people who don't know what that is, it's like 3D, but on a 2D viewing plane. You don't see
Yeah,
that side camera. I'd say it is, especially because it's not that pixel art. It's that it is using
yeah,
3D
yeah.
models, but I don't know if it's going to turn or tilt much. And even seeing that, like, yeah, loop,
Yeah,
it is definitely 2.5D.
yeah.
Oh, looks really
Um,
good.
it looks really really cool, and like as with all the Sonic games, platformer, pick it up and play. Like you don't, I don't think you'd be expected to invest hours and hours of your time here. Like
Mm.
you could just pick it up. You can, and that about summarizes it right there. New thrills, classic feels. That's literally the vibe that I got watching this trailer and having
Mm.
a look at all the stills for it. It looks like
Mm.
classic Sonic, but it looks like they just upgraded it, which I think is a really
Mm.
really good. It's like a really really good plan. So I'm
Absolutely.
most likely going to get this game. Looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
nice. Nice. Yeah, this appeals to me too as someone who hasn't played Sonic games. I'd be willing to drop, I don't know, 30, $40 or whatever it is for
Oh
this to
mate, it's
go
not
right.
going to
My
be 40
first.
bucks. I tell you that now.
Well, maybe I'll get it on
That's
sale then.
yeah. That's wishful
That,
thinking, my friend.
yeah.
It's gonna be a cool 90 or maybe even 110. Like this is a
Dude, that's so true. That's so
this
true.
is yeah. I wouldn't call it a triple A, but it's a brand. Like it's Sonic, so
Yeah.
they're gonna cash in on it.
No, no, you're dead right. Like I paid like 70, $80 for Metroid Dread, which I see is kind of fitting in that category of like
Yeah,
it's not like Assassin's Creed, but it is top quality
yeah,
within the graphics and the scope that it is. I
yeah,
think what I wanted to point out too with this trailer, I think Sega's just got a 10 out of 10 in the sense of like they've got an announced like a release date saying it's coming at the end of the year. So it's like, cool, we're not waiting 2 years for
yeah,
this. We've got it's coming. It's all gameplay and it looks like it
yeah,
tells you exactly what it is. It's like it's classic Sonic in modern graphics. It's showing you a good amount of variety. It's not
yep,
too long. It's not bogged down with like CGI or
yep,
explanations. It's like they're like, you know what? We know exactly what you want. We're going to feed it
yep,
to you, and you're just gone. I think this is one of the most for me. I think this is one of the most outstanding trailers because it just
yeah.
goes right, 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 and better yet, see it's on all the platforms.
All the
Like,
platforms. Love
yeah,
it. Love to
it's
see it.
wonderful.
Love to see it.
So
New
we
thrills, classic feels. That
I love
absolutely
it.
sums it up.
Sega are back in form.
Yeah,
They
sums
might
it up.
release another Dreamcast. You never know. No, they won't. Okay, so the last of the Summer Game Fest games we did want to show today, and I did bully Pat into this one again. I'm sorry,
Nah,
Pat,
this
because I
is
was
good.
like,
I love
"Oh,
bro. I
Pat,
love Prince of
we have,
Persia. I
yeah,
love Prince of
this,
Persia, man.
yeah." I was like, "Oh, this looks really good." So, Prince of Persia. Where to start? So this series has been dead for about 10 years. There are a whole bunch of 3D games back on the Xbox. I think this is right, Pat. Xbox 360, PS3 era where they had like Sands of
Sands of
Time.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a trilogy that they had, and
Mm-hmm.
it transitioned to 3D where you're doing that kind of parkour
Mm-hmm.
mechanics that then I would say, inspired games like Uncharted and
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man to some extent. So it did that in the Prince of Persia universe and looked really good. So this series has been dormant for a while. It's interesting that they've brought it back with the old classic 2D style because for
I
those
love it.
oh, I love it too. And so, did you play the old Prince of Persia
I
games? Did
did.
you?
I played
Okay.
I played number
Oh
one.
wow, me too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in the dungeon. I played I really like number two, where you like. It took me ages to figure out number two because you start off getting thrown out the window and then there's guards coming up to you and I'm like, what the fuck am I
yeah.
doing? And then like
Yes.
I just got killed like 500 times before I realized you have to whip your sword out and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But
No, but I think we've got to talk about number two sometime because a lot of people
yeah,
don't know there was the second one, Pat. And number one, you just walk around and then spikes go through your thighs and you
yeah,
die.
yeah,
How true is that?
yeah.
But sorry, what do you think about this?
The
Like,
Lost Crown looks like, oh, there you go again. It's on all the consoles, so
yep,
that's a great start. So agnostic, beautiful. We love
yep,
to see it on this show.
yep.
I already excitedly said I love that they're returning back to the 2D form. Um, yeah, just look, it brings back. I played Sands of Time, and it didn't captivate me as much as I thought it would.
What do you think
So
it was, Pat? Like, what do you like? What was it? Do you know? Like,
I'm
was it a
I'm
bit
not too.
plodding, or was it just not?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Mm,
It might have just been my mindset at the time because like
yeah.
it wasn't a bad game by any stretch. Like I
Mm,
love the pardon me. I love the like rewind mechanics.
yep.
So that was really cool. Really love that.
Yeah.
And just the time manipulation mechanics was always fun. Solve
Yeah,
puzzles
they
and
were
stuff.
funky. They were so
Yeah,
funky at the time. Hey, they were like
so cool, so
trend
cool. So I don't,
setting. Yeah.
yeah, oh, I reckon it might have just been my mindset at the time, honestly, where I
Mm,
was like interested in other games and I wasn't really super keen on like the franchise in general. But
yep.
this looks like it's a return to form.
Mm,
Not that they ever lost form, I would say, I guess, but
mm,
it looks fantastic. Like
mm,
I already mentioned, return to the 2D looks great. It looks
mm.
like the prince. Is it the prince? It looks
Yeah, I
different,
think
but
probably a different character or whatever, but like an
yeah,
interpretation of the prince. Eh? Yeah.
yeah, classic platformer, but it looks like you've got a bunch of skills to work with as well. I saw bows and
Mm,
arrows there, so it looks like they're spreading out. No, I'm excited to play it. And
mm.
like this looks like a game that you'd love to play on the Switch because again, platformer, you could probably just pick your Switch up, start playing, don't have to invest heavy hours in it. Excited.
Damn straight. And I think that's where Ubisoft have hit a lot of right notes too. Kind of like the previous Sega trailer. Like this is appealing to that crowd who's like, oh, this is like the old Prince of Persia's. For me, this has very heavy Metroid Dread
Yeah, I see it.
vibes.
I
That
see it.
2D, the mechanics, the kind of even there's a scene where like he's fighting a monster and there's quick reaction time movements. There was a series called Castlevania, I think it's Mirror's Edge or something on the DS that that looked a bit like this and had the
Hmm.
kind of like the meat and bones for these kind of games. I really like that. It's a simple, clear art style. Like I don't
Yeah,
know, Pat, but for me, like I don't know if I would classify this as next gen or previous gen, but there is something about the way this looks that it's good enough. Like
yeah,
it's a Disney cartoon, it looks exactly the way you'd want
yeah,
it to do. It's good enough to run on. It'll run on the Switch. It might not look
yeah,
so good, but it'll look fine. You can play it on your old PS4, or your old Xbox, or a
yeah,
low rig PC, and then the modern systems. Yeah, I think that broad appeal, a bit like a Mario game, it just. And what's kind of interesting to me also is that this is not your typical where we're seeing this massive cadence of open world run around games. I
hmm,
mean, we're talking about Final Fantasy before, but that's a bit different. I'm talking about Breath of the Wild. I'm talking about Phoenix Rising, which is one of Ubisoft's previous
mm,
attempts. I'm
mm.
talking about Assassin's Creed. This is just going, here's a 2D game. It looks good for what it is,
Yeah,
and it hits all the right notes.
yeah,
And the monsters. Oh, I love the Persian
yeah,
mythology,
yeah,
dude. I love
yeah.
that. Oh, so good.
Beautiful. Yeah, like you said, they're not trying to do too much. I feel like they know their target audience, they know what they're trying to do, and like
Mm,
they're not trying to push. Well, okay, I can't really say that, but like it feels like they're not trying to push too hard in terms of trying to break ground or anything like that. They're just like, look, we're just going to release a quality game. Here you
mm.
go.
Yeah, exactly that. Nah, it's so four really big, exciting games. There was heaps more on the Summer Games Fest. We're not going to cover them all, as Pat mentioned. Just some of the big ones that we knew listeners and beyond would be interested in, and the ones that really stand out to us. This week we are doing a bit of a shorter episode, but we did want to mention one big game that
Oh
is out
yes.
on the town at the moment.
Oh yes.
Pat, do you want to start off with this one? What are we looking at here? It looks somewhat familiar.
It does look familiar, and the older gamers know this is what we've been waiting for. For people who grew up in our generation, this is this looks fantastic. Diablo 4, as many of you may have already guessed, came out. I want to say not. It wasn't last Friday. Was it
Yeah,
Friday? It
it
was
was.
last Friday.
I think there was like an early access period, and then I think
Oh
it's just
no!
in the,
Yeah,
within the
yeah.
last. Yeah,
Yeah, it was literally. I think it was literally last Friday.
yeah.
Man, it looks amazing. That like I cannot. I've said that so many. I've said that so many
No,
times
no,
this
no.
show,
Let's
but I
start with
feel
that.
like
I mean, this
yeah,
looks really good. Like,
I,
and the Diablo.
I
Take
feel
it
like
away,
it's
man.
warranted. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
warranted. Every game we've done on the show today has been amazing. Like I can't
yep.
like that. That is literally the word I would use to describe all of these. Like
Mm.
classic isometric Diablo style. If you've ever played that, but
Mm.
as per usual, they just pump up the graphics. They pump up the
Mm.
graphics. It looks like mechanics wise as well. There's a few more things that you can do. So Blizzard have never missed. I don't know what the hell everyone's problem is with Diablo 3, but I really
Yeah, I
enjoyed
know.
Diablo 3.
I really like Diablo 3 too. People are like it's too bright, it's too story driven.
Yeah.
Nah, like that was appealing to me. Like that.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell everyone's problem is with it. I feel like
yeah,
I actually, yes, I do. Everyone says there is no end game. That's because coming from Diablo 2, where it's just like end game was pretty fleshed out. Diablo 3, I guess by the by is it doesn't have a full fleshed out end game. It doesn't have a fun end game. I think you just have like an endless tower where you just clear out mobs, clear out dungeons, and you just keep going up and up and up and up forever.
mm.
So, but I don't really give a shit about that because I like
Yeah.
the story. like,
Well, me
like,
too. And like Diablo 4, that's what they're talking about. Like the story. So my brother's put like 50 hours into this. I got friends
oh
who are right
damn,
into
he's
this.
got in. Yeah, let's go.
Apparently, like Blizzard announced there's like the top. I don't. I might get this wrong, but it was like the first 100 gamers or whatever who can beat the game on hardcore mode and achieve all this shit are going to get their name etched in a real life statue of Lilith.
Oh,
Um,
first,
there are
okay,
people
first
out
of
there
all,
doing that now.
yeah,
There are people out there doing that now. So sorry if we've interrupted you with our podcast. Go get your
yeah.
name etched in the statue of Lilith.
First of
Um,
all, I don't want my freaking name etched in the statue of a demon. Like,
yeah,
what
I
the fuck? What
know.
kind of freaking price is that? Like, okay, look, Lilith is probably not real,
Yeah.
but on the off chance that like there is a demon out there by the name of Lilith, what the? I don't want my name etched on
Don't
that
tempt
shit.
fate, people. Don't
Yeah,
tempt fate.
exactly. What kind of a prize is that? Like freaking summon, like oh shit. Anyway, but yeah, no, this game looks great. Like I'm just waiting for money to come into my account before I buy this.
Yeah.
Um, I almost also want to just skip my rules of having finished Diablo 2 and 3 and just jump into this.
Skip them, bro. I feel like you
Yeah,
can. I
just
mean,
jump
this
into
is.
this.
Jump in. Like, I'm with you there. I'm just playing
Yeah,
D2. I'm in, like, the second act, and I'm like, you know what? This is too exciting. It looks
yeah.
so good.
And
Mm,
they're bringing back classes from Diablo 2 as well. Like
mm.
you got the druid back in there, you got the rogue.
Yeah.
Um
The rogue was from 1, I think, and the druid from
rogue rogue was from
2.
1 and 2. So
Yeah.
1 and 2
Oh, 2
and
as well.
then
Okay,
yeah, and then disappeared from 3. So did the druid. So they got the druid back, they got the rogue back, barbarian always a staple.
It's always in
Uh
there, isn't it?
I forget
Yeah.
who the fifth one is. Necro? I want to say
Sorcerer,
necromancer.
there's a
Oh, sorcerer.
necromancer, sorcerer, and then Blizzard announced I saw yesterday that that's like the most played class. I think it's just because you just melt and laser everyone on the screen
Oh
with
yeah,
that
it's
class.
always
Like,
good fun to play bloody sorcerer, man. What the
yeah,
hell?
yeah,
But yeah, no, it looks great. Like again, they're not trying to do too much with the graphics. They know their audience. they know what they're going for. They're not trying to push boundaries or anything. I mean, they kind of are because it's like
They could are, but it's
isometric
exactly that. It's the actual. It's actually the camera viewpoint, isn't it? Like with this viewpoint, you can't do too much, and there's a lot going on the screen, so you can't have like you're seeing lightning stand out amidst a lot of greys. You need to do that, so it's a good player experience. You can't saturate that with 30. Or 40 colors. Yeah,
exactly. Even that boss thing there, like it was like
what
it
was
just
that?
just the moves look unique. And what I've also heard from my friends is that you can respec your stats as much as you want. It just costs gold, which is freaking amazing. Because my problem with Diablo 2 is that you can only reset your stats and your skills a finite amount of times before you have to absolutely grind your ass off to get the materials. So like if you accidentally push that button to respec your skill, or you're like, oh shit, I don't really like this. Shit out of luck, my friend. You create a new character, or you spend like 6 hours grinding in the hardest level to get the materials to reset your stats. I can't really remember what Diablo 3's one is, because when I finished the story, I was like, that was satisfying, and I never played it again.
And it's hard. It's so hard to go back to. That's not a game you can just go pick up, start on level 1 with like 2 powers and go, I'm going to redo all of this. That's a very hard game to start again. So,
exactly. So apparently Diablo 4, you can just do it. So if you're a sorcerer and you're like, I'm going to go lightning, and then you're like, I don't really like lightning, I want to go fire. Just pay some gold. Not even hard to get, apparently. Pay some gold, respec your skills. Awesome. Go fire. Don't like fire, respec, go into ice.
Awesome.
Love it. Love that mechanic. So freaking
That's so
good.
smart. That's actually like so smart. Like I remember playing D2 and going, oh, my paladin's kind of built this way. I can't really do much else. So I got a bit sick of some of the moves and going, oh, the demon hunter can do this and the Amazon can do that. Like respecing, I think that just opens the game up and like lets you experience a lot more joy and be like, no,
absolutely.
Like I said.
Yeah, because if I want to use a barbarian, I assume Whirlwind is going to be, because that's a staple barbarian.
I've seen that in there. I've seen barbarian spinning around. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, if I'm like, I don't really want to go Whirlwind, I just want to beat the crap out of stuff with my, with two weapons and just go like pure melee, I'm going to just respec and do it. I don't have to wait till the end of the game to experience another build. So I really, really like that.
Sweet.
It's amazing. But I'm going to get it.
Oh, what an episode, man. Like there's some great stuff. D4's coming out. We are, I think when Pat and I get it down the track, listeners and viewers, we probably, what do you reckon, Pat? Should we do like a D4 themed episode and be like, thoughts? I think we'll do that.
When we've got a bit of hours. When we get a bit of hours under our belt.
Get the hours back.
D4. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's so good. My brother's like, I've already loved 50. I'm like, you haven't even bought it yet. Just I can't catch up. Go have fun for me. Tell me what's going. It looks really good. But look, listeners and viewers, that is pretty much our show for this week. We are going to try and cover. We know we've covered a lot of showcases, but there's just so many games coming out. We love it. And so the Xbox Showcase is up next. I am keeping my eye on it because I'm still choosing between a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and I haven't decided yet.
Disgusting. It's PS5. Sorry, Xbox fans. But
no, I totally get that. That's all we have. So, listeners and viewers, thanks for joining us. Go play some Diablo 4. We won't stop you anymore. Pat, awesome having you on again, and have a good weekend, everyone. That is PGC for this weekend.